today. Many persons are undergoing 21 days fasting now as a way to prepare themselves for any challenge that may come their way in the course of this year. We thought that we should also start this Friday editions with preparing our minds for any eventuality that may come, because problems are always around now. They say, why the children of God gathered? Satan was also amongst them. So difficulties are always going to be there. We felt that today we prepare our minds on what it will take to survive very difficult times and emerge winners over our problems. So what is it that you need to know? We are going to be looking at them with our panelists who are in the house already. Stop calling, please. We are in the company of Mr. Buji Leancine, who is a regular face on our Friday editions of Prime Hour. Good evening to you, Mr. Buji, and Happy New Year.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. Happy New Year to our televiewers. We are excited to be back here again to talk about surviving in difficult times, and I'm very excited particularly to be back on air. It's been a while. We're busy doing a lot of innovations and the rest for the benefit of our society and the world.
Okay. So, yeah, but last week was the 31st, and the President of the Republic was supposed to address the nation, and we had to analyze the speech, reason why we did not bring the edition of last week to you live. But we also are in the company of Mr. Kiyam Kizito, who is a very, very resourceful person in this domain. He's going to be participating in this edition of the program, telling us how we should prepare ourselves for difficult times in which we find ourselves, or which may eventually come in the days, months, years ahead. Good evening and welcome to you, and Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you and to all our televiewers. We actually in a new era and in a new year where everything is set ablaze to set going. So we are actually in a company of experts this year to drive that change which we've always longed for. And it's not just an arena to think about winning, but to actually drive the winning. Take care.
Okay. We also are in the company of Miss L. He's been away for some time, and some persons have been writing to me that what is happening to Miss L. Miss L is here. Happy New Year to you, Miss L.
Happy New Year to you, Mr. Leo, and Happy New Year to everybody. I'm so happy to be back on set. So I get to talk with a lot of people, share ideas, and all of that. I'm particular about the topic of today, about winning.
How was the Christmas and New Year?
Christmas and New Year was awesome. Yeah, it had to be awesome because it was family time. So.
Okay. We're talking about surviving tough times to emerge a winner. What it takes. And many persons will be asking, why are we discussing this? Isn't it also very important to acknowledge that anywhere you are, whatever you do, difficult times are always around the corner?
Yes, Mr. Leo. If you are a human being, there is a certainty that you will meet challenges, you will have tough times. In fact, that's one of the indications to show that you are actually alive, because you have to go through challenges. When God created man, he definitely gave man a task. And that task was not that he would do it for man at every time. He gave man a task, he gave him the capabilities, he gave him all the abilities to be able to overcome this. And from then, man has to understand that he will always live in a world that he will meet problems to solve. Man by nature is a problem solver. So if you think that you will always have solutions, or you will always have things done for you, you will always live in a comfortable environment, in comfortable situations, then you are fooling yourself. Even when you are somebody who doesn't like quarrels, maybe you will be forced, you relocate to an environment where your neighbors are just crazy. That's a situation where you will actually have to overcome. Maybe at your job site you have challenges, or maybe something just automatically happens, unforeseen circumstances, and you are forced to deal with it. If you don't have a winner's mindset, if you are not a winner, if not prepared to win, definitely you will face a lot of challenges in that direction. And as a human being, you need to prepare to win, expect to win. But if you don't prepare to win, don't expect to win. So it all takes you as an individual to first of all acknowledge that as a human being, you will be faced with tough times. You will have situations that you will be uncomfortable with, and you need to overcome them. All in this, I will summarize it in that you need to adopt a winner's mindset, a winner's mentality. Don't ask questions like, I know there are situations that even I've been in situations that I ask God that, hey, why me? Like you ask questions like, why is this happening to you? It's like, this thing is particular about you. But there is no problem that you are going through that another person has not gone through. So if you will win, then definitely you need to talk to more people, you need to experience people, and you need to build relationships. Because there are times that if you will actually sail through a difficult moment, you need somebody who has lived that moment. That's why at times we talk about advice, but you don't just get advice from anybody. You get advice from somebody who has experienced or who has knowledge on where you are going to. So you have to constantly educate yourself if you will become a winner. Educate yourself that winning is an art. Winning is an art that you have to learn.
Winning is an art. Is this also a wake-up call to whosoever is watching us this evening, who you may be in business, you may be in one venture or the other, to know that a winner must build resilience, must live with that notion, with that spirit that at any time problems may arise.
Yeah. Of course. I often say this to many people outside, especially to business owners and even students who are trying to venture into entrepreneurship. I tell them you can never hit a target if you've not planned for. And if you really want to hit a target that you've planned for, then you need to actually build your surrounding to become an audacious person, because it needs courage, it needs that resilience. You have to be well focused in order to determine your path to which you're choosing for growth. That's why I often take this scenario, we are in a world where we need someone who can drive change. In as much as a car is in existence, you can, not two drivers can be on a single car. So in order to drive this change, there must be someone who understands the pathway, who understands the road, who knows the direction, who knows the destination of where he's carrying the other through. And when you find yourself in a situation where you cannot sustain yourself by planning, then you're ready to fail. And that's not a winner's attitude. A winner's attitude is all about planning, executing, and analyzing the steps to which you take to fail. Because I always take this aspect of failure to be very, very important in every step of your journey. Because if you don't fail, you won't know how to correct those errors. That's why it's very, very important as a leader and as a business person, if you want to venture into any entrepreneurial aspect, be ready to fail if you're ready to win.
Be ready to fail if you're ready to win. We must, at every time when actually we are faced in a tight situation, we must acknowledge that things are difficult and not behave as though there are no difficulties, as if we were living in heaven now. It's only in heaven when we die that everything will be perfect.
That's very true, Mr. Leo. Before we want to get into the winning mindset, we have to understand that you are only called a winner if you pass through challenges.
You win over something.
Yes, you win over something. A winner is somebody who has overcome a situation. So if there is no situation, there is no opportunity to win. So challenges are opportunities for winning. So we should not pretend. That's one problem that most people face, that they have issues, but they pretend as though nothing is happening. And now when you begin to, we don't ignore challenges, right? We see through challenges. Meaning if something is not perfect beside you, accept that it's not perfect, but see the possibility of getting a perfection at the end of the tunnel when you look at that thing that is imperfect. So we should not just think that we are in some sort of paradise. Nobody lives a perfect life from beginning to end. Nobody lives a peaceful life from beginning to end. You choose to be peaceful. But so long as we are on this earth and different forces are there, and the fact that everything that God created was not created on the same day, we all came with different views of life. And so we must always get to the point where these things will clash, they'll coincide. Take for instance, there is as simple as mosquito. Mosquito needs to survive. And for mosquito to survive, mosquito has to get on your body and get blood for him to survive. So let's get it that way. So we are living together in the same community, but we are at the point where things are conflict to one another because it's survival of the fittest. And when there is a scenario of survival of the fittest, there's bound to be challenges.
Yeah, but this whole notion of a winner, everybody wants to be a winner in this nation. Before you are crowned the winner of the AFCON, it's a battle now.
It's a battle.
Challenge. You have to survive very tough times. You have to play from the first round, second round, quarterfinals, and then you emerge winner. You want to emerge winner of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. You have to go up there. There are persons who will never reach there, but those who are focused and they get there, that is only when you can be crowned a winner.
Of course, of course. And Mr. Leo, to Christians who are watching too and all of that, I would like to bring this out because I used to mention this to people. Now, if we go back to the scriptures in Genesis, when the Bible talks about creation, the Bible says that when God created man, He said that go and subdue. It says go and dominate. Now, there is no place in front where He talks about the battles. He just told you, He just created man and said go and subdue, go and dominate. It means He was already preparing your mind. Subdue
means that you have to meet something, you have to overcome
something. So there was already a mindset preparation of the battle we're about to face. So when man was created, there was already a field. You already know that if they tell you go and dominate, it means there is a giant you have to meet. There is somebody who has to stand on your way. They tell you to dominate. If they tell you to subdue, it means there's somebody who wants to climb over you. So our minds are already prepared. It's just that these are some of the things that we ignore. Even when we read our Bibles, we ignore these things.
You are the head and not the tail. It means that yes, angels will carry you through.
So we have to keep pushing. Now, one of the issues we have is that the determination to win is higher than the determination to go through the process. Now you're so determined to win that you forget that you have to go through the process for winning. And that's why many people fail halfway, the fallout. Because there's so much about, it's like how you get up in the morning, be like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Oh, my name will be called on Forbes. I'll be here, I'll be this, I'll be that, I'll be that.
No, take a
and you
example.
forget
we have a
to work.
That we have to play in Cameroon now.
Yeah.
You must go through the first round, go through the quarterfinals, go through the semi-finals, before you emerge winner. That's it. Nobody just calls you and say you are the winner.
Yes, it doesn't work that way. But a lot of us, even entering this 2022, a lot of us are not still enter 2022 not ready to face what 2022 will give.
Declarations have been given by papas.
So a lot of us, sincerely, people are watching us right now. I can tell that a lot of us are just seated. I'm like 2022, I must make money. 2022, I must do this. 2022, I must do this. And then now all I must do this, I must do this, I must do that. Now the determination to get this to this point, to get to this level, is it equal to the determination to face the challenges that comes with this level? Because each level has a different challenge. Meaning that, like how you're talking about football, when you go for the first round, of course, the opponent will be the first round. Sometimes,
the weaker teams
the weaker teams will leave. You meet the stronger team in the next level. But now most of us, because we get into it and our minds are not prepared, we fall out on the way. And now we start blaming people. Meanwhile, nobody was responsible for your failure. It's just you will refuse to see the opportunity that was in the challenge that came your way.
We are going to take a contribution from Boya through Tiku Felix, who said he wanted to contribute to this topic for tonight. Okay, well, once it's ready, let me know. But this is the beginning of the year.
Yes,
we all want to emerge winners this 2022. We want to become millionaires. We want to be the best hairdressers. We want to be the best in this. How do we emerge? We already are acknowledging that difficulties are bound to face us. But should we not start by making a plan through the winning process?
Yes, Mr. Bio. You said something that interests me, that it's beginning of the year and some people will be ending their 21-day fasting on the 21st, which is, to me, it's very excellent. That's the best way you can begin your year, to begin it with God. On the contrary, in some people, but what's bad about it is that sometimes some people begin with it with God and they think that God will definitely do what to play his part and then play their own part. Because it's not after all the prayers, all the fasting, all the declarations that you make, all the prophecies that Papa has given you. If Papa says you will travel, and at the end of the day, the travel opportunity comes while you don't have a passport, you will remain in the quarters. So that takes me to goal settings. Before you start doing anything, write down goals. Your goals must be smart, which means that they must be specific, they must be measurable, they must be achievable, and they must be time bounded. I said smart as the word is. So if your goals don't reach this criteria, then you don't have goals. Maybe you just have wishes, maybe you just have dreams that are leading you nowhere. So if you want to go far, you must first of all sit and see where you are going, which means that you must have a vision. You must have your own personal vision of 2022. I've asked many of my mentees, I've just asked one question, one of the most important key. What is the key goal that you have for 2022? Most of them have told me, most of them said financial freedom. You know, we are in tough times and many people want to be financially free. But financial freedom doesn't just start in wishing. You have to be able to sacrifice. You have to be able to prepare yourself for financial freedom. And to have financial freedom or to achieve anything in life, there is one thing that you must do: pay the price. The price can be money. The price can be to look stupid. Because I know there are some people who have wonderful ideas. They are scared that maybe you want to be a public speaker, you want to sing in church, you want to sing in your school, but you are scared of what will people say about you, which means you don't want to pay that price to look stupid in front of others. And I remember this from Obon King, who says a man with a vision is a madman until the vision comes to pass. So if you are not really hot in 2022, it means that you have not yet adopted a vision. You don't yet have a vision, and it will be difficult. A year will come and pass you by. You will be very consistent in always ending your year without any achievements. So I'm inviting you that normally stop just wishing, stop just praying and fasting, and act on your goals. Act on what you want to do. And you must be able to take 2022 as a moment to start educating yourself, learning, because that's the most important thing. If you understand, you see that the world is running very fast. The world is speeding. For instance, the text global we had last year, the text global we had in November is totally a new text global this time, because text global has moved about a year plus ahead of time. And apart from that, we are looking at the vision for the next 2 decades, not only what we have been moving ahead, but it wasn't easy to go across that change, because we wanted to have a new 2022 and a new text global, because change is the only thing that is constant. So if you want to make your year better, if you want to become an overcomer and definitely be a winner, prepare every day. Should be a preparation for the battle, seen and unseen. That's why, for those who are spiritual, that's where you fight your unseen battles. And the ones you will see, you will fight. But also remember that the unseen battles, the seen battles, are the ones that you actually have to face them. Why the unseen battles? Well, I will understand you will leave them to God.
Okay, unseen battles to be left to God. But very, very key to what you just said is that we should set goals for this year. Set timelines. Huh?
Timelines,
okay.
Yes.
2022 ends in December of this year.
Oh, yes.
By March, this is where I expect to be, then maybe July,
yes,
October, and make sure that you do a revision.
Yes, and that's why we talk about the goals must be measurable and they must be achievable. Because you cannot measure your goal. You cannot just say, I want to be the best journalist. Best journalist where? And when? How? But some people just like, I will be rich. I don't know if you have this type of people around you that talk a lot. Like, they just, you hear very big talks that are backed by no action. They end up putting you in a position of big disappointments. You at the time when people are looking up to you, after all that talk, you end up disappointing them because you did not match it with action.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum and your panel. Happy New Year. Your topic, surviving tough times to measure winner. You should have life in you living. You must be mentally okay. Make use of your mind, able to give and take. Treat your neighbor with the fear of the Lord. Use what belongs to you, and God will bless you. It's Pa Clement again from Tassen, extending greetings to my mother and wife, Pauline. Good evening to you, Pa Clement, writing from Bamenda there. Good evening to all of you in the studio. I'm very satisfied and grounded too with the analysis that Mr. Buji Leancine is giving. Truly, man is born a problem solver. Nkong Wilson Bankse, watching from Mokolo in the far north region. Good evening to you all watching. When you develop the plan and then you set a timeline, achievable objectives, but in times of difficulty, we should nothing also stops us from seeking assistance from somewhere else.
Yeah, of course. This is it. You know, when it comes to goal setting, there's a whole lot of things we need to really understand. And like Coach Buji was saying, if your goals are not backed by habit, trust me, you will not get there.
Okay.
In fact, you cannot get there. That's why I usually use this scenario. If you are really hungry and you lock up yourself in a room and you start praying that Amana should send you food from heaven, trust me, no food will appear. But now, what do you back yourself with? There are habits that you need to cohabitate. Go outside there, you meet people. There are people outside there who are longing, who are, in fact, they are passionate to actually help us out, to help you and I either achieve your goals in one way or the other. But once you don't take out that step, trust me, you're not going to have that help. That's why you need to back your goals with habit. And now, facing 2022, you need to be very much conscious about what you were fed up with in 2021. Now, a lot of people have probably drafted out a lot of goals. I want to be financially free. But how do you want to be financially free? Which businesses are you engaging into? Are you investing? What actually are you going to showcase if you want to be financially free? Trust me, there are a lot of people now who actually are giving fantasies rather than goals. Yeah, they give fantasies. They don't actually give attainable goals. You cannot tell me, hey, today, sir, I want to build 2 businesses, giant businesses in 2022, whereas you have probably nothing in your bank account, or you have nobody who you're coming together. You don't have a community of people that you're coming together to build these businesses. Now, when you don't create sustainable relationship, how do you want to build a business? So it's one thing. If you're aiming at achieving something, hey, you just need to put aside habits. For instance, if you want to be the best journalist or a public speaker so far in around you or in your community or your nation, first, what do you do every day? I'm going to broadcast a video at least of 30 seconds every day. Now, if you do that for 1 week, you can now evaluate how much you're growing in public speaking and now facing the crowd. So how much do you attend to other people? So you need to actually back every goal that you put down in writing with habits. Without so, you will not get there. Because 2022 should be actually an important year for you to look at what you were fed up in 2021. Say you never attained any of your goals in 2021. So what are you to do in 2022 to cover it out?
You must change.
You must change your
habits.
You must change your habits. So there are habits that are old enough, but some of us youth nowadays, we're just much more interested about, hey, I want to be rich, I want to build a house, I want to get married, I want to do this. Yet you are doing practically nothing to get there. It will be very difficult for you to live a kind of life that you really want if you cannot discipline yourself. You need to be very much intentional. If you're not intentional, that's where everything will scramble. Like, for instance, people who said, hey, I will be getting up this year at least. My New Year resolution is getting up every day at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to study. Maybe you want to increase your grade in school. But trust me, if you call them early Monday, say 4 o'clock, they will be sleeping and snoring. But yet, because they have not really gotten that intentionality about where they are going to. So that's one key important. You need to develop your habits, and you need to be intentional with those habits.
Okay, we need to be intentional about the habits that we want to form and actually attain our goals for especially for 2022 as proposed to all by Tex Global. Let us take a listen to Tico Felix from Boya.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening to the entire panel. Mr. Leo, you know, difficulties or hard times in life may be caused by different reasons, or different situations may bring about difficulties in life. Like to some people, it's because they lost their job. Some people it's because their heart has been broken. To some, they lost the breadwinner in the family, or things like that. Some situations like what we are going through in the southwest and the northwest region, which is as a result of a war that break out in our environment, something we didn't actually bargain for. But the fun is, before you even talk of difficulties, it means you had a base. There was a point in time when you could move without any problem. So difficulties now means something has cut out, has cut those situations which usually provided your needs, be it your daily needs or whatever. And now you struggle to fend for yourself. You struggle to make ends meet. You struggle to pay even your bills and the like. So I believe that is what we are talking about. You see, most of the time, life will give you what you actually didn't bargain for. We have aspirations in life. There is what and who we want to become in life. But in our situation now, in the world today, life presents its own situation and gives you what you actually did not bargain for. You get to a point where theoretical principles don't work anymore, Mr. Leo. A point where life's experience is all you need to succeed. People can tell you whatever or teach you whatever, but experience you get in life is a principal teacher. Times are changing. So too principles are changing. So knowing the time you find yourself in is a great move towards the winning direction. For example, to succeed in business or to win in business today, in the world today, Mr. Leo, you must be digitally alert. You must be able to know how business softwares work, how to be connected in the modern digital age. I mean, the principles applied in the 80s and the 90s, if you apply them now, Mr. Leo, they cannot give you even 30% of your expected results. So these are some of the things we need to look into when we want to succeed in today's life, when we want to overcome the difficulties that we face. Another thing is, no matter the time, no matter where you find yourself, Mr. Leo, there is always a somebody that helped somebody to succeed. And there's always a somebody that has made it in the area where you are facing difficulties, in your line of interest, or in your line of ability. There is somebody that has gone through. The Bible says there is nothing new under the sun. Whatever we face, some people had faced it and they succeeded. So you're being able to identify and connecting with such people is another positive drive towards winning. Another major aspect that will lead you to winning is patience, Mr. Leo. And this is something I've seen mostly with the Nigerians. There is this word we say oga is very common with the lay Nigerian. It's just talking about boss. You understand? In Nigeria, you get to a village, get to a struggling family or meet a struggling guy, you take him to the city, teach him your trade while he serves you for a period of time. Then you now graduate this person and settles this person. By the end of his service, Mr. Leo, to you, he has emerged as a master to himself and a master in the trade. So when difficult times come, it also presents us that opportunity to be able to upgrade or to be able to look into another direction and then equip ourselves on how to cope in. Because like I said, the difficulties depends, it goes with the environment. The difficulties we face in Yaoundé may not be the same difficulties that the people in Buya are facing. Though at times we may have general difficulties, but the coping strategy in Yaoundé is not a coping strategy in Buya. So we need to be, we need to incubate that spirit of patience while we are so alert to be able to know how or what to do to emerge winners in difficult.
Okay, thank you, Tiku Felix. Good evening and Happy New Year, Mr. Leo. I'm Marcel Ndip, a private economics teacher in Yaoundé. I left my uncle's house after obtaining a degree in money and banking. I was not getting younger, so I had to take the challenge to start teaching. Right now, I'm raising money doing a training program in graphic design. Am I making the right choice? I'll be glad to receive help to be a winner. Is he making a right choice?
Let's have the question again, please.
Okay, you want to get it? Good evening and Happy New Year, Mr. Liu. I'm Marcel Ndip, a private economics teacher in Yaoundé. I left my uncle's house after obtaining a degree in money and banking. I was not getting younger, so I had to take the challenge to start teaching. Right now, I'm raising money doing a training program in graphic design. Am I making the right choice?
Okay, now I would like to mention something about the aspect of when you say you're not getting any younger. Okay.
Age.
Yes, age-wise. Now, it's not about age first. So I'm not saying it's a bad decision. I want to facilitate this foundation for others who are listening. The decision to succeed does not have anything to do with age. It's about more of you. Because there are people who decided to step out when they're much more younger. Him saying that he went through the university first, there are people who tell you that they had just first school and they had to step out.
And
so,
meanwhile, the persons with PhD.
Yeah, PhD, who are still there, living with their parents.
Who are striking.
Yes, who are striking. I didn't say that one. Okay, so now it's not really about age, but I will applaud the sensitivity of I'm not getting younger. So the only issue is let's be able to define what he meant by I'm not getting younger. If his definition of I'm not getting younger is that I want to experience financial freedom and not that I want to prove a point. Because some people step out because...
Here is the issue that I'm now raising money.
Yes, he's now wasting money. Yes, like I said, I'm saying so. I'm giving this analysis because other people are watching us right now. And maybe there are people who have made up their mind that 2022, I'm leaving my parents' house. We want to know the reason. There are ladies who will leave their parents' house because they just want freedom. And then they will hide behind the fact that I'm not getting any younger. There are boys who want to leave their parents' house 2022 to just go and live a free life where they can do whatever they want. But hide under the name of I'm not getting any younger. So him saying that he's doing something that is giving finances is good. But now I would say that while you're doing all of this, I would tell you personally as Miss L, I would tell you as that person who has seen life in a different light, when you are able to fend so much that you can be able to give back home. When you're able to give back home, I will tell you that you've seen life in a different way. Because most of us will start working, most people step out and start working, and that money or whatever they want to do will be to prove a point to their family, but that's not what we're doing. We're not trying to prove a point.
Yeah, but why don't you also see the fact that he got a degree in a particular domain and seemingly was not finding a job in that level, but thought that it should be flexible to engage in another activity that can give him money. Yeah,
that's actually where I was going to. But like I said, I'm talking now globally to everybody. But now him talking about making the right decision. Truth is, if you're in your 20s, like I mentioned some few days ago on my status, that in your 20s is the time for you to invest in your own ideas. Invest in your ideas as well. Him seeing that, I'm sure deciding to do graphic design is because after leaving university, maybe he has not been able to secure a job in that field that his parents had sent him to school to go and study. Him being able to get his hands doing something and practicing a skill, that's skill acquisition. If he's practicing a skill, it's not just giving you money, but it's making you to be competent in a particular domain. I think you're good to go. I think he is good to go.
Yep, he's good to go.
But you have to keep working.
Mr. Leo, if I'm to add something there, I really see him as somebody who is dynamic, which means he can adapt to the economic situation of Cameroon.
The difficult times that we're talking about.
He can adapt because, for instance, he would have been complaining. There are many,
at home.
Yes, there are many people who have degrees and they are complaining and knocking doors of companies to give them a job.
15 years they are at home.
You understand? Every time, because at the end of the day, you even have an opportunity for that job and they will ask you, what can you do? Where have you done it before? Because now they want to look at the history of where you have saved before. And the next thing is, don't even just end at graphic designing. I have over 10 skills that I've mastered over the past 5 years. So much so that if I'm not doing this, even the graphic designs that he's talking about, I do it. And there are skills that you can scale them. You can teach, or you can freelance, or you can even work with somebody permanently. So if you want to acquire a skill that will save you for the next couple of years, not just what will put food on your table. So I don't know if the graphic designing that he is doing is just the one that maybe the class that is teaching seasonally. Or he's doing it as a business. Okay,
he wants to be a master in the domain. But I want you to react to what he said earlier on. He raised the issue of taking lessons from our failures in the past, because almost everybody today will say 2022, I want to change. I want to be the biggest guy. I want to be the biggest lady. I want to be the boss lady now. But the issue is, do we take time to look at what cost our non-realization of what we attempted achieving last year, so that we can work on them and fix them? And then Tiku also raised the issue of experience, patience. We want to make it after 3 months. Nobody thinks that we need to take time to get to where we want to go.
Okay, I'll start with what Mr. Kizito said about habits. He mentioned something about habits. That when it has to do with goals, we have to put the necessary habits that will help us push those goals ahead. Now, a lot of us are entering 2022, and there's a lot we are putting on, and they're like, oh, I made these mistakes in 2021. I don't want to make the same mistake in 2022, and all of that. Resolutions, that's the word. A lot of people, some people have like 8 lists now. Only resolution are written, even ledger. Yes. But now, this is it. I'll start by saying that resolutions don't make visions. Visions make resolutions. So you have to first of all know where you're going to. Going back to the goal Mr. Buji talked about. You have to first of all know what you want to achieve in 2022 before you go back to resolutions. Now, if you want to know how you can be able to override some of the mistakes, in quotes, that you did in 2021, you have to first of all ask yourself that did I have a goal I was wanting to accomplish in 2021? Because trust me, when you know the goal has what it does. Unconsciously, you start acting in line with that goal. If you have a goal to write books, maybe, or learn or study online by 4 a.m. every morning, unconsciously you will not sleep late, because you know that getting up early will need that you should sleep early. So ask yourself, 2021, did I have goals? Did I put down goals? If you not have goals in 2021, that is where the problem started from. This is 2022, you start with the goals first. And then some of the mistakes you did in 2021, sit back and ask, what led to that mistake? I lost money. Why? This happened. Why? I'm now on the streets. Why? When you can go down to the source to discover what led to the result you had, you will not be working on the result you had, because that's what most of us are doing. You want to work on the result you had in 2021 that you did not like, and forget the cause of the result that you had. So this 2022, go back, go more, or focus more on the causes of events that were not, that you didn't enjoy. Events that took place in your life in 2021 that were heartbreaking. Go back, don't look at the events, look at the cause of these events, and then it will help you to know how to better place your feet in this 2022. And also going to what Mr. Tiku said about patience and experience. He said something about us being in a world where people have to look at experiences. Now, I would like to add something when it concerns experiences. Now, I also believe that it's good he mentioned the fact that you cannot be an island. You have to meet people for assistance. Now, one time I said it on set. I said there are mentors in my life, there are coaches in my life that I really feel there are some experiences I cannot go through again, because they went through those experiences with the both of us. Meaning, when I meet you now, you will tell me where you made a mistake. Let me start knowing how to put my leg. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying about this aspect of experience, I'm saying that we will have to get through experiences and learn, yes, but don't wait also for experiences. Don't be an island. Have mentors, have coaches, people who can lead you through your year. So that sometimes before you want to get into something, it's something that maybe some of them have gone through it and they'll be able to guide you. It must not be the same problems, but most of the times a problem will not have just one solution. And who knows, maybe the solution they have might be the solution to that particular problem you're facing. And patience is the key. But don't wait for things to happen. Try to happen to things. What do I mean by happening to things? It means you make use of every opportunity that comes your way. You don't wait that people should get pap and put on a spoon and then force your mouth. You see how they used to give babies food, they force your mouth to put inside. No, when you see pap, look for a spoon and start eating. That's what we do. So while being patient in 2022, get yourself at positions where opportunities can hit you, where you can meet with opportunities and be able to work. So you can be able to emerge a winner, because solutions are embedded in people. Solutions are embedded in places. There's some places you will go to and meet the solution of a problem. Like somebody watching us right now might just be having the solution of a problem they had in 2021, just watching us. Okay. So just know how to position yourself in this 2022.
Let's take a short break. We're coming right back after this video by Dex Global. Okay, Mr. Buji, while you get that video prepared, In times of difficulties also, is it time for us to identify what we cannot change and also look at what we can change and work on them?
Yes, Mr. Leo. Because when you said identify what we cannot change and work on what we can change, because at times we start denying the situation, like you don't believe that this is it. Maybe you were very rich a week ago and you realize you no longer have money and you are refusing to accept that you no longer have money. So, in times of challenges, times of difficulties, you first of all need to acknowledge, situate yourself inside your present situation. If it's that you don't have money to pay your house rent, other things, you must acknowledge that. Then you will start asking questions, where do I go from here? But if you don't acknowledge that you have a problem, there is no way you can ever solve it. So the first thing is to be able to acknowledge it, then start asking questions. This problem that I'm facing, what options do I have? Let's say you have a monetary problem. You have a financial problem. Can you borrow? Can your bank give you a loan? If your bank cannot give you a loan, you must accept the fact that your bank cannot give you a loan. Because if you don't accept, if you are going every day to the bank to try it, and you know that there are late principles by your bank that they cannot give you a loan, then you are only wasting your time. And your imagination is going to torment you because you have not accepted the reality. The greatest slavery is in the mind. It's not actually what happens. That's why they say if you even go to prison today and your mind is liberated, then you are not in prison. The greatest prison will be your mind, because there are many people who are walking on the streets, there are many people in offices, in homes, in their homes, but they are living in prison in their minds. That is the only prison that has no walls, it has no chains, but there are many people who are living in it. Because in most cases we refuse to accept the reality. And if you cannot accept the reality, you cannot change anything. And you change what you can change. What you cannot change, there is no need to stress about it. They always say sometimes you just need to relax, and then you accept that there are some things that you cannot change, and then you do your best with the things that you can change. So like Mr. Felix said, you must be able to adapt. If you are eating 3 square meals a day in Bamenda or in somewhere in Kumba, and you arrive Douala and you cannot eat 3 square meals any longer, you need to adapt to that situation. Because the moment you refuse to adapt, you are in trouble. Your body is going to be tortured, your spirit is going to be tortured, because you have refused to adapt. That's a change actually. There's a change. And what happens with change is when change is coming, when you refuse to adapt to change, what happens, Mr. Leo, is that it crushes you.
It sweeps you.
Yes, it crushes you. If you cannot adapt, change crushes you. That's why if the times that media houses were going digital, if you refuse to go digital, you only realize that they will talk about My Media Prime. People will be switching now to digital channels. They are not seeing you. And that is how you go out of business. And it will be very painful. It will be very painful. I always like this story of the CEO of Nokia and the press conference he held to announce the acquisition of Nokia by Microsoft. By then, what was the reason? He cried in front of his employees, telling them, unfortunately, they did not do anything wrong. They did not do anything wrong, but they lose big time. Why did they lose? Because the world changed so faster and left them behind. So when you get detailedly to the story, you realize that at the time when phones were switching to Android, they refused to move to Android. They were still maintaining the Java story. And you realize that the Motorola's, the Nokia's, and the rest, all of them became obsolete. They went out of, people went for what was trending, and they left them behind. So without that change happening, they were pulled out of business. Till today, Nokia is struggling to come back to the market, but it's not easy. That's just what will happen to you if you refuse to adapt to change. Because 2022 is not 2002, it's not 2000.
So, my sister and brother, if actually you've discovered that things have changed, I agree that things have actually changed, and what you cannot change, you agree, and what you can change, you change it. Let's take a listen or a watch at this video by Tex Global.
Dreams, if they're not big enough, Tex Global 2.0 is not actually the place for you. But if you have big dreams, dreams that scare you, then you're welcome to the VIP club of Tex Global 2.0. When you talk about Tex Global 2.0, remember to use this wealth from the ground, because Tex Global 2.0 is basically the advanced version of the old Tex Global that we had. For 5 years, we needed to do something different. We needed to upgrade. There's an upgrade of the normal Tex Global, which comes with a lot of benefits, premium benefits, I must say, to the investors and would-be investors. We'll talk about some of these benefits. I don't even know where to start, but they are just numerous. Speed, security, accuracy, and of course, one of the highest things that many people have been complaining of, delayed payments and the rest, because we were basically doing something manual before, but we have gone to the age of automation. We are also using artificial intelligence in this. Then we are also bringing in a wonderful marketplace where farmers can sell their goods, where we will sell our finished products. We are bringing in an e-commerce shop to our investors. We are introducing P2P transactions, which was not seen before. We are favoring the promoters of Tex Global, the networkers in Tex Global. Those who promote this business, they get their bonuses instantly. As a matter of fact, right now as we are talking, Tex Global is already paying bonuses to all those who have been promoting the business. You can now refer somebody to Tex Global right now as we are talking, and you receive your bonus instantly. That is the potentials of the 2.0. Remember, wealth from the ground. Agriculture is the future. With 4 industrial farms on the pipeline, with the Tex Global mobile application, with the Tex Global's integration into the GMAX system, with Tex Global integrating a worldwide payment solution and payment gateway, with the microfinance coming up, with Tex Money coming up, with Tex Coin coming up, with Tex Village coming up, I can assure you that Tex Global 2.0 is very, very sustainable. The only thing is, if you have dreams, if they are not big enough, Tex Global 2.0 is not actually the place for you. But if you have big dreams, dreams that scare you, then you're welcome to the VIP club of Tex Global 2.0.
Thank you for explaining that concept 2.0, because I was asking myself what that was about. The new concept of Tex Global, there is a change?
Yes, Mr. Leo. Not that we've not changed from the vision, but we have decided to adapt to the times.
Okay.
As you remember, a few weeks, almost about a month ago, since October ending, we were having already a situation where our system outgrew us. Our system brought us a lot of challenges because we expanded so much in 2022, and without increasing our capacity at that time to be able to contain that, without looking at the next couple of years so much, it came faster. We're like, okay, let's do this in 2022, but we're forced to do it in 2021 by embracing a new technology, an upgrade in technology, an upgrade in the way we do things. Right now, Tex Global is building a new is setting a new standard for how investment companies should go.
Okay.
So we are actually working on maintaining our position as the top one agricultural investment company in Africa.
Good evening, Mr. Liu asks Mrs. How much is registration for crowdfunding in 2022? And Peter in Bamenda, and where is Tex Global situated in Bamenda?
Tex Global is situated in Bamenda, in opposite Oil Libya petrol station at Commercial Avenue.
Okay. Yeah. Registration?
So Tex, that's the
crowdfunding.
Okay, so the registration for 2022, we decided to work per regions. I said this last time. So now in TextBreed, we are funding per region, meaning now it's open for Southwest. And it's possible for you to be able to register in another region per se. But registrations into TextBreed is 25,000 francs. After registration, you're going to have a training session. We have an entrepreneurial training pack that goes for all our registered members. And then after that, you submit your project, you meet the panel. And once you're able to convince the panel that your project is worth funding, then you get funded. Okay. So it's 25,000.
25,000 francs registration for crowdfunding. We are going to take a short break to come back and continue this very interesting topic to prepare us for 2022.
Gagner la canne, ça ne s'explique pas. On peut se raconter des histoires, se prendre pour des pharaons, se sentir fort, invincible même, à tort ou à raison. Panthère, aigle, éléphant, indomptable ou pas, tout le monde vient ici pour sacrer son roi. On pourrait en parler pendant des heures. Mais gagner la canne, ça ne s'explique pas. Ça se vit.
Only Canal Plus brings you the heart of the African Cup of Nations. Right now, enjoy 15 days of free access offered to all of Canal Plus at your resubscription.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime on My Media Prime. We are this evening looking at surviving tough times and what it will take for us to emerge winners. Now, Mr. Kiyam Kizito, we are going to be looking at the possibility of also going back to school. When things are tough, we don't give up. We go back to school to learn coping skills to be able to overcome.
Yeah, actually, the truth is, skills are normally currencies now, are new currencies. And when you are unable to actually develop yourself or to go back to school to learn these skills, it will be practically very difficult for you to adapt in the new changes.
Yeah, because in the case of Nokia, like he just cited, it's like you were engaged in one business, and because you are out of favor, your business may no longer be sellable to your previous clients.
Yes.
It's time to accept that this thing is more than me. Go back and learn.
Yeah, the truth is, it's not just about learning, because if you want to focus just on learning, trust me, you miss the track.
Okay.
Now, how do you learn to adapt in a society? Now we're faced with the situation. I always maybe treat this with my mentees at times. I tell them, okay, there's a huge lot for you to understand. That's a school, the actually school life will give you. That's life after school. How do you face it? Now we go to school, we are ignorant about actually what we learn in school. And when we come out now to face the real world, it's pretty difficult. So when you go to school, be self-focused to define exactly what you want your career to look like. That's, for instance, if you really want to be a journalist, you should not go and be reading mathematics. You not come here and be calculating maths. So if you want to become a banker, what do you do to become that banker? Do you attend at least your small tontings? How do you actually manage the finances in? So you need to learn skills that are sellable. And learning, it's all about practically engaging yourself into. Because there are some people, they can read from 1st to 31st, but if you ask them, hey, what are you reading? They would tell you a whole concept. But now, applying that concept, it will be very difficult for them. That's why I have to tell you this. If you really want to self-adapt yourself into the growing economy, you need to learn. When you learn, offer your services at least for free. That's where you get the experience. Because you find many people, they go to job interviews today, they'll probably ask them, hey, what's your working experience? How is your experience? Now, you did banking, but you cannot showcase anything that you are doing banking because you don't have the relevant skills that that you can drive change in my organization. Now, but if you actually learned out, if you graduate from banking and finance and you running around the quarters to tell yourself, hey, I'm a graduate, I need a job, that's hell no, you stay there for the rest of your life. But now what do? You either can offer just a simple service first to your community store, right? Because this is how it starts. From your community store. It's a learning process. Now you can just advise the storekeeper about petty cash management or cash flow management. That's how you stand to grow yourself. But now when you don't offer voluntary services after school, you will not even get the experience. You will not even get the skills, because skills now are currencies for life. So you get to learn and deploy those learning skills into practice. And that's how you offer your services, because your services can be very much awarded in the long run through recommendation. Because if you can offer your services so good to somebody today for free, normally when that person hits a bigger opportunity tomorrow, he will recommend you. So you need to learn and deploy and actually execute those skills. You need to train others, right? There are other people, if you want to really go far, the truth is you should learn, build yourself, build the relevant skills that you think you have. Now train your own community and maybe merge them together and look for the way forward. Trust me, with a team you can go further. I believe learning it's a great thing, but now practicing it's more better than just learning.
Surviving tough times to emerge a winner means that we previously or presently are involved in one or two activities, and we are faced with a challenge. How do we stay focused, flexible, and productive in both good and bad times?
How do we stay focused, flexible, and productive? I said somewhere, and I'll mention that success responds more to flexible minds. Okay. The more flexible you are, the easier it is for you to attract success towards your direction. So in this point where we are in our businesses, different organizations, in our families, because day to day, every time, every minute, we face challenges, and we have to get to the point where we have to stay focused. Now, staying focused is understanding exactly where you are going to. If you have an understanding, not knowing, there's a difference between knowing and understanding. I might know that this is a camera, but I have understanding. It means I know the function, what this camera would do for me if it's standing right here. So if I have this, I have the knowing of where I'm going to, and I have an understanding, means I know the detriment that comes with it if I don't get to this point. It will help me to be focused. So one of the ways for us to stay focused is for us to have an understanding of where we're going to. The next is to stay with focus-minded people who also have a view of where they are going to. When you are surrounded by people who are focused, it has a way they infiltrate, the system just gets into you unknowingly. So you have to stay with people who are also focused. And another thing is that get the education that is needed. Get the education that is needed. in the choosing field. That's one way that you're going to be focused and flexible. That's one way that you'll be focused and flexible. And so it does not just come like that, all right? It has to do a lot of work. And every work we mentioned right here on set starts from your mind. You have to build your mind, be ready for what you're about to achieve in this year. Be ready for the goals you've set. Be ready for everything you want to get in 2022, everything you want to see. As you're ready for it, be determined. Let your environment not sway away from it. So imagine that you are about to accomplish a particular task and you are aware of some of those things that were standing on your way. Like we earlier mentioned, that 2021, maybe you identify the things that were standing on your way. Now, for you to stay focused and flexible, to stay productive in what you are doing, you have to go back to those mistakes that you made in 2021 and then keep telling yourself that you want to be this. So don't focus so much on what you don't want to become. Focus more on what you want to become, because that's a positive energy you need to pull just your direction. And be productive. You cannot be productive if you don't have the information that is required in the choosing field. So whatever we're doing in 2022, let's get the information that is needed so that we can be productive in that field. Build competence. We've mentioned about skills here. The skills we have in your organization, because every organization has a product, and the product is the skill they have built. So be in your organization, be in your family, your church, wherever you are, for you to be focused, for you to be flexible, for you to be productive, you have to understand where you want to go, understand what you want to achieve. When you understand, surround yourself with the people who are going to keep pushing you to stay focused on a particular goal and get the information that is necessary. And don't go about hitting your head so much for resources, because one thing I've discovered is that on your way to purpose or in accomplishing a vision, every vision has its resources, but you grow to meet those resources. Meaning, if you are just here, there's some things you never get because you have not gotten to the next level. So as each level has challenges, so do we find the resources of our vision as we move step closer to our vision. So keep improving by having the information that is necessary for you to scale through. As you're getting more information, you're growing. Remember, you meet the challenges, but as you're meeting the challenges, you're meeting the resources. So for you to be productive, use the resources wisely. Because every resource you have is a solution to every challenge, to a particular challenge per se, that you'll be meeting along the line.
Okay, use the resources wisely. Mr. Buji, is it also very important to focus on the things within your control? Manage, use your energy resources to invest in what is controllable, so that you don't waste energy and time.
Of course, Mr. Leo, I will take that to main focus. Focus your energy where it's profitable. Because if you do not focus your energy where it's profitable, which means where you can actually enjoy the outcome, you will definitely waste that energy, waste that resources. This involves, in 2022, think about your cycle, your relationships. Make friends with people that you can learn from, you can exchange ideas with, people that you can communicate with, people that you can discuss with, people that you can have a talk with. Because there are some people that only talk to you and you cannot talk to them. There are some people that just want you to listen to them and they cannot listen to you. Which means that in any case, you cannot control a conversation with them, or you cannot enjoy a conversation with them. There are people that they can only drain you. They cannot give back to you. So what you're feeding your mind with this time should be very important. If you have that person that will not call you and say, hey, we're in 2022, these things that we did in 2021, they weren't good. On Fridays, we went out clubbing and drinking, and it brought us here. Look at these other people who were taking time, they were learning new skills, they were studying, their lives are better. If you don't if you don't change your cycle, if you don't redefine your relationships, then you are going to be in trouble. I say the person who is not feeding your mind positively, the things that are not encouraging you, the things that are not giving you a motivation this year, you should let them go, no matter how sweet they are. For instance, I always say the highest thing that could distract you, the highest thing that could take control of you instead of you controlling it, is that which you love, is that which you like, is that which you enjoy doing. Because if, let me take this example so that you understand better. If you want to trap a rat in your house, you need to put something nice to it. Because if you just put what it doesn't like, it will not take. So what can take over you, what can take control of you, is that which you like. So you need to learn to be able to say no to the things that you like that are definitely going to make your destiny have an accident. So it doesn't mean that you should not give yourself a treat. Because I would encourage that even when times are hard, like I would say what the slang that people say, no matter the problem, chop first. No matter what happens, still take care of yourself. Still eat well. Still say you are the best. Make sure that you remain at the top of your game. Because if you don't, if you want the world to define you, definitely they will define you the way they want. But if you want your story to be different, take your pen. I always say, if they will write your story while you are alive, make sure that you are the editor of that script, so that nobody will just tell you. They will not write the story and you will be looking at, is this really me? Because they may say in sports that, hey, this man was a weakling, you are good for nothing. But you need to keep on reminding yourself that you are the best that ever was. Because on earth, there are no two duplicates of Mr. Leo. There are no two duplicates of Mr. Kizito. There are no two duplicates of Miss Earl, nor me. You are uniquely unique in your own way. And you need to embrace that power that you are the original that God created, and you can shape your destiny. You can change your fate. You can change your destiny by changing the things that you do, by accepting the things that you cannot change and changing the things that you can change.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I wish to find out from the marketing director of Tex Global, someone who does not live in Cameroon. Can he register for Tex Global? I am David, writing from Equatorial Guinea in Malabo precisely. Yeah, I'm sure they can register now.
Of course, that's one of the reasons why we're bidding, and we upgraded our system so that it could solve the problem of those out of the country having difficulties in assessing because
the system.
Yes, an international company of that nature, we had a system that was almost broken. Like Cameroon has a system, Nigeria has a system, and so on. But we built something this time universal. No matter where you are in the world, you can definitely become part of Tex Global 2.0.
Greetings. For me, I think being a winner is the same as being successful. The same rules are applicable to achieving them. First, to be a winner, you must have a strong vision about what you want to win. Next, you need to come up with strategies on how to get to it. And most, you need finance to energize your vision. Lastly, you need to talk and relate with the right persons, okay? At this juncture where we are also in difficulties, very important to prioritize our relationships, those we know.
Yeah, it's very, very important. In fact, that's one of the very, very important aspects if you want to stay winning. Because relationship is one of the fundamental things that we really need to prioritize. In fact, people are our immediate source of existence. Yeah, they are our immediate source of existence, because you cannot run any business without having clients, without having people. You cannot run an NGO if you probably think that there are no people you need to cater for. So your relationship with people, it's actually a defining strategy, because you need to meet the right people. It's meeting the right people, not everyone, because not everyone will buy your vision. There's one thing my grandfather usually say, not everyone that laughs with you is your friend. So you need to be careful with those you associate yourself with. If you want to be a winner, stay around winners. And if you want to, like one comedy show I watched from Nigeria, he said, if you want to be a billionaire, hang around billionaires, because if your first 5 friends are not people who can see you through in a mess, trust me, there's a big time difficulties that you face in your life. Like if you have a major problem now, and if you're in need of 5,000 francs, just like simple as it is, and you call 5 of your friends and none of them are able to sort you out, trust me, you need to change that relationship. In fact, you are the CEO of your life. Thus, you need to identify who you have to upgrade, who you have to demote, who you have to sack in your friend zone to move on. So if you want to stay winning, stay around people who challenge you to grow. Stay around people, a community of people who drive your growth in your dispensation. Because you cannot grow in this dispensation if your relationship with people is chaotic. So building strong and valuable relationship is key to your growth, and it's key to your sustainability, and that's one major aspect to stay winning.
Yeah, but relationship in good times, is it not also the key capital for bad times? That is the way you treat people today, you would need them when things get rough. And
Mr. Leo, they say, I remember this musician John Mina say that you should be good to the people on your way up, because those are the people you will meet on your way down. So there is this thing, the time factor, Mr. Leo. Time changes a lot. The people that were nothing yesterday will be something tomorrow, and those who are something today may be nothing tomorrow. You may be in position to help others. It's important you help them. And you may be in position, because tomorrow it will be your turn, or it will be the turn of your children. That's why relationships is one of the most profitable currencies, the most powerful currencies of the 21st century. Sometimes you don't actually need all the money in the bank to solve your problems. You need people. And it's very difficult that you should just get up one morning because you are in problems, in trouble, and then you start calling people to help you. Nobody will come to your rescue because you were not there, or you, by the time maybe you were okay, you did not think about them. So what is, even at work, what is the relationship with your colleagues? At home, what is your relationship with your family members? What's the relationship with your neighbor? There can be a day that you need water, maybe just to take medication, and you don't have it. You are in trouble. You have a problem at that time, and you need to win over what? It may be a situation of ill health. And the relationship with the next person who could have helped you with water to take your medication, it's very bad. Maybe you don't even talk with that person. Maybe you have just had a fight with that person, and you are no longer communicating. At that time, you will fail, not because you were destined to fail, but because of your attitude, because of your relationship with that particular person. That's why there's an uncle that if you call, that uncle will say, hey, this my niece, this my nephew cannot be driven away from school when I am alive. And another child will still call that person and will say, I don't have money. It all depends on the relationship that you have with those people. So relationship should be one of the greatest investment that you have. Like Mr. Kizito was saying, still there is this man of God, Joshua Selman. He actually made a statement. I listen to him a lot because of the way he cuts across religion, Christianity, and the rest, where he says that if you don't reach a stage in your life that if you call that my landlord will be throwing me out of the house tomorrow, I will be going in the streets, and somebody will say, no, I cannot be alive, and this thing happens to you, then you have not built relationships. You should have that relationship in your life. You should have 3 persons. Have 3 persons that if you call, this number doesn't go through, you call this one doesn't go through, you call the 3rd one, they are going to respond to you and your problem will be solved. Until you reach that stage, you will not know. But also you need to be in the position of, you need to have life challenges. You need to be experiencing tough times to know those people. Because until the time you are in tough times, you will not understand that. People will tell you that I will be there for you, I can die for you. Until you are facing tough times, that's when you will know that truly these people did not mean what they said. But when you go through tough times, that is when you actually build this relationship. So take note. And again, also remember that before you seek for help, there are people who are also going through challenges. There are people who are going through challenges, and those people, some people are going through challenges and they can still help you. And don't think that because maybe you seek for help in a day that someone was going through his or her own challenge and did not help you, that the person is a bad man. It doesn't make them bad.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. More grace to your elbows. Mr. Leo, I wish to find out if those guys in the studio are owning private businesses or only workers in Dex Global. This is because I wish to partner with them, not necessarily under Dex Global. Thanks. Good night. I'm young Roland, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening to you. Roland, you can call Miss L and Mr. Buji and talk with them. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The program of today is a gateway into accomplishing the goals for 2022. Equally, you are just answering my questions and worries I have in mind for 2022. Everything is permitted to happen, but you are not permitted to fail. Special greetings to Mr. Buji and Lady L. Kum Leonard, writing from Bomenda. Miss L, we are talking about the persons you surround yourself with. This is 2022. We are all wanting to emerge winners with trophies by December. Either through the big cars we may buy, the big houses we may the plots we are going to be purchasing, but it comes through the persons that we surround ourselves with, because these persons either sink or raise us.
Very true, Mr. Leo. Just to add a little bit of fun to what I told somebody, I said 2022, make sure you don't surround yourself with your village people. And they started laughing. I said, let me explain to you what I mean by village people, not the one that we're always saying. Village people are those people who claim that they know your foundation. And they feel that you cannot outshine your foundation. And so when they see you trying to outshine it, they start holding your dress and pulling you back, because they feel that in our village, this is the custom, we have to be like this, people have to be like this. In this 2022, I'm telling you what I told my sister. I said, don't surround yourself with your village people. I've explained to you my definition of village people I'm mentioning. In this 2022, I urge all of us to surround ourselves with people who have succeeded in 2022 before 2022 started. There are people who have won before this year started. There are people who have already become financially free before this year started. And how did that happen? Up here. Their mindset are already ready to receive 2022 and everything. The plan for 2022 is either you get it or you get it. Either you win or you win. Either you achieve or you achieve. There is no point where you have to fall back. So be with those people who have their goals, people who can challenge your mindset, people who will tell you, keep pushing, people will tell you, keep moving. And the truth is that as you're listening to us right now, you know those people will not hold your hand in this year. You know them. That's the truth. I did a post on Facebook and I said, my advice for 2022 is, whoever is not contributing to your growth, please practice social distancing. You have the right, like what Mr. Kizito said, you are the CEO of your life. Nobody has the right to stay except you give them the chance to stay. CEO means Chief Executive Officer. You are the chief of your life. You determine what is executed around you. Meaning whoever is not adding to your life, stay away from them. Yes, even your parents. Quote me anywhere. I will not say what I don't do because my parents know me. If I feel that you are going to add so much negative energy, I'll tell you that I'm not separating from you. What I do is I cut my discussion in that I don't share my idea with you because you can talk it out of me. So I choose not to share it with you. But we are family. But I choose not to tell you where I'm going to. Because some people, their own belief can kill your vision. Mr. Leo, they'll just tell that, only is enough for you to just forget whatever you had in your mind.
Call them dream assassins.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Buji. Dream assassins. Separate yourself from them. Go to people who might not give you the resources. Yes, there are people who might not give you the resources you need, but they will keep pushing you. They'll keep pushing you. It's like what my grandma was of blessed memory. She died a few days ago. This is one of the things I was crying. I told my mom, I said, that's one person that I learned this from her. She will not give you resources, so but anything you tell her, she does not need to understand. She'll just say, okay, it's fine. But she doesn't even know where you're going to. That if fine is enough to help you go ahead. There are people around you that will not tell you that this is 100,000. Go and put it in your business. See, in 2022, there are a lot of things that will be happening. I know people who have been bought out of their visions with money. Simple, this is what they tell you. You say, they ask you what do you want to invest in. You say, I want to invest in cocoa business. And the person tells you, cocoa business is not lucrative. But if you choose to invest in restaurant business, I'll give you all the money. And they give you money and talk you out of your original vision. Meanwhile, the original vision was Coco business that could have made you a millionaire in no time. So there are so more. We're talking about relationship with people you surround yourself with. It's not just people who go to bars. There are people, you have friends who might be drinking so much but believe in you. You might have friends who might not be going to church but believe in you, though you are a Christian.
Like people who were in church from December to January. They'll talk you out of your
yes, they will talk you out. I've encountered that. People that I've been in the same church with, and when you tell them that you want to be this, they look at you as if you are funny. Yes, when we're talking about you surround yourself with right people, there are different set of right people. People who can give you a listening ear are right persons. Somebody who can just sit and listen to what you have to say. Even they don't give a contribution, but they have the time to sit down, because people have found solutions to their problem in just talking with somebody. If you can have somebody who can listen to you all the time, it's good. I told somebody that said entrepreneurs are those type of people who always need people who can listen to them. You don't need to give them solution there. Just allow them to talk. They will share their problem, talk from that to tomorrow, and because of talking to you, they find the answer to their problem while talking to you without you uttering a word. So surround yourself with people who can listen. Surround yourself with people who can say yes when it's time. Surround yourself with people who will be blunt enough to tell you that, see, you see that road you are going like that? Or they tell you that, you see this address, it's not nice. You see this your shoe, it's not good for this event. They will tell you to your face without bending it. Those are also right persons to be with. But in either ways, let the person that is the closest of your paths should be that person who has won, who has conquered 2022 before starting 2022. Because these people will push you, they'll encourage you, they will tell you what is, they tell you what is not. People who are frank and blunt with their own lives, who are real, realistic with their lives. If they are real with themselves, they'll be real with you. Don't be with people who fake it, who praise you, but they kill you. Be with people who can tell you, go this direction, or sit here, or stand. That's why everybody needs a coach.
Everybody needs a coach. Let's take another listen to Tiku Felix from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, a lot of opportunities come with difficult times or during difficult times. But the truth is, we focus more on the difficulties, on the ills, on the hard times, but fail to see the gaps and the doors that have been created during this time. Take the crisis in the Anglophone regions, for example. So many people have gotten jobs because spaces were created. Some people ran away, creating vacuums. And those who remain on ground took advantage and got these jobs. People have created new businesses because in terms of difficulties, people's needs are also changed and increased. So people take advantage of this and get into new businesses. You get to Boya, for example, you see business upon business. People, because of some difficulties, want to sell their properties in order to become or to bounce back with life. For example, they sell their landed properties, some sell whatever properties they have because of financial difficulties, and they want to use the money to engage in certain ventures that would kind of re-establish them. Another person becomes the demarcher and life goes on. So to succeed in difficult times, you must be sharp and smart to be able to detect opportunities. Another aspect to adopt is to let go the negative or the attitude of being constantly negative. Being negative builds inferior complex. It also builds a repulsive atmosphere towards openings. Because of difficulties, anything that comes around you, you just hit on it hard. Anything you hear, you just hit, especially if you have been hurt by somebody. I still take the case in the Anglophone region. things were were so difficult. Mr. Leo, but you know that this crisis has created space for more military men than we used to have, and the conditions to get into it has become so easy. Recruit in the military has become so easy. Before this war, I want to bet you that the number of Anglophones, for example, who are now in the military, it wouldn't have been possible for them to get into the military before this war. But when the war came, Mr. Leo, they were not looking at the southern Cameroon or the northern Cameroon thing. They look at the space that has been created by this war, and they took advantage of it, and now they are employed and winning. You may just you may be, for example, be close to someone who is a lifter you need, but negative words from you will drive them away because it discourages people. So be positive all the time and very courageous. Things and times are hard, but it should not reflect even in your looks. Like I said, Mr. Leo, you must learn skills. Not just learning skills, learning what skill is relevant to your environment. Beside this, you must be able to market what you know or what you have learned. Times may be difficult, but experience and wisdom will teach us that at the initial stage, it shouldn't be all about money. Use what you know, use your talent, use your gift to attract people, and before long, they will be begging you to pay for that same gift. Creativity is a master rescue machine at all times. So desire to be creative, because if you are creative, even in difficult times, Mr. Leo, you will still win. The principles applied in Yaoundé is not necessarily or are not necessarily what should be applied in Buea. But creativity can make you use the idea of what is being applied in Yaoundé to create space and to create something that you can do here in Buea and succeed. We don't just do things because we have seen people do it. We do things because of the need of that thing in our environment and the burden we have in using that thing to solve problems. So, Mr. Leo, any man who does anything because some other person is doing it and succeeding, that person is already building a wrong foundation, and in difficult times it's going to be worse.
The take-home message here from Ms. L and Tiku Felix is the fact that people with negative energies should be cut off 2022 from our lives.
Of course, there is no need to be apologetic about it. There is no need to feel bad about it. If they are not adding value to your life, they are not supposed to be part of your life. If they are not encouraging you, they are not supposed to be part of your life. If they are not supporting you, they are not supposed to be part of your life. Remember, we did not say part of life, but part of your life. Because as an individual, you have your life that you live, and you live in a society. Why to coexist with others is a fundamental thing to do. Allowing others to evade negative persons, to evade your private space, to have priority in your life is not necessary. Where you cannot allow minor people to become majors in your life, as well as you cannot major in minor aspects of life. If you see yourself already majoring in minor things and minoring in major things, then you are heading towards the part of failure. You are going towards a part of a failure mentality, a defeatist, and so on. But if you want to be a winner, you must sit down before you go to bed today. Start looking at who is that person that is always making you, challenging you to become better. making you to do more than you can do. Because if you don't identify these persons, it's not the person who meets you, who hype you. You know, a lot of people who hype you around. You are this, you are this. No. Maybe they hype you because they benefit from you. Look for the people who genuinely mean well for you, who genuinely support you, who are genuinely there for you. They might not have money, they might not support you with material things, but they support you with the one thing that matters most. A human being that has a group of people, a community that believes in him or her, will go far in life. That's why you realize that in football matches, in races, the fan club is very important. Most commentators describe the fan club as the number 12 player, which means that there's always the place for those who push you up, for those who say, hey, I know you can do it. Maybe you are getting your first job interview, there is somebody somewhere who tells you that, hey, you know what, I believe in you, you can do it. Most often, in most cases, it's our parents that have always taught us that one, that, hey, my son, you will make it. So you need to have those people who actually genuinely believe that you can make it in 2022. For if you have a lot of them who genuinely, I still use the word genuinely, because it's not everybody who tells you, just the manner of telling somebody that they will make it. It will tell you if they believe in you or not. So Mr. Leo, it's important and very necessary. In this January, put the list, look at it, evaluate it, and see if they should be demoted or promoted in your life.
Okay, so, but it's almost a very difficult. You spend 5-10 years struggling to get to somewhere, and you are not getting there because you find it difficult to let go of some persons, especially family members, especially some friends. But I got an inspiration today while in my office, and I wrote something on my Facebook page. I said that Esther became a queen in a strange land.
Of course.
Daniel marveled Nebuchadnezzar in a strange land. Abraham excelled in a strange land. And Joseph became himself king in a strange land. And this is something that many persons may really not understand, that you find yourself around a particular area for so long until you let go of some persons, especially those you think are too important to you, before you can excel.
Yes, it's very true. That's where we talk about the comfort zone, because normally a lot of people feel because of their actual environment that they don't want to step out. I want to take, for instance, myself. When I resigned from my second job, I became a junior lecturer in Yaoundé. But out of a time, I discovered that Yaoundé was my comfort zone, because I get up every morning, my mom has prepared puff and beans, I eat. In the evening, I enjoy my lunch and supper. So all of these things, I was very comfortable. But one point in time, I said, hey, if I get to stay here, and then I'm not going to become the who I said I wanted to be. Like in a very teenage age, I started telling my parents I want to become a banker. Now, how will I become a banker? By staying home. I already defined my home like my comfort, so I needed to step out. But before stepping out, I actually assessed a lot of things before I moved. Because if you want to actually leave your comfort, your area of comfort, to another jurisdiction, you need to be very careful. I mean, very careful. How much sure are you ready to let go? Because there are some people that will give you a filthy excuse. They are my family, they are my friends. In fact, this is where they are. If I stepped out, they are the one counting on me. There's one thing I learned from Mr. Teke Samuel. He said, one point in time, he has to cut out, have to actually abandon family for good 8 years, and friends. Nobody knew where he was. And that's exactly it. If you really want to succeed, you should be ready to let go where you think you find comfort to where you will really have to be fed up to find a solution for yourself. Because out of your comfort zone, you now restructure yourself. That's where just eating a simple gari, you have to have a rethink that, hey, what will I survive with tomorrow? So you need to actually boost yourself up to work out for your journey. But now, when you stay where you are, trust me, it's very difficult to keep moving. So you need to move out and test an environment. Before testing an environment, be very careful. This is it. Especially this concept works more with men. But now with ladies, you need to be very, very careful, because this way you become so vulnerable to environmental clashes. Because if you're not very careful when you're stepping out of your zone because you want to fight for your life, you'll find yourself doing extra things which are not in line with your vision, but just because you want to make a living.
But does it not also tie with the attitude you talked about? Because if you are venturing to something, there should be that attitude that would accompany you accomplish what you want to.
Yes, that's what you really have to talk about, intentionality. You need to be intentional when you're. Yes, get back to your goals. Because if your goals are driving you, trust me, you will do whatever it takes. But if they are not, you find a lot of excuses to give. That's why it's simple. You either find your results or you give excuses. But now you have the opportunity, because some either see this as an opportunity to excel, but others see it as an obstacle. Like leaving their comfort is an obstacle for them to succeed. But now you need to be a master of yourself to actually do whatever it takes to succeed. But do that in the right way, by allowing your goals to actually be at your drive.
Okay, now you also have to tell yourself that you are not the only person in this situation. You have to build yourself confidence, understanding that what is happening to you may also be happening to other persons.
Yes, and that's why I have a problem when people start putting their problems on other people and forgetting that the next door neighbor might just be going through something that is worse than your own. So understand that you are not the first person that is going through that challenge, and somebody had gone through it and won and emerged victorious, and that person went through the same situation and failed. So know that you're not the one who's going through it. Don't do pity party. Don't try to build to bring people beside you who will be telling you, oh, Asha, it is well. Yeah. If it's not well, it's not well. We already mentioned it here. When there's a challenge, say there is a challenge and walk. You get it? So know that there are people around you who are facing the same problems. There are people around you who are facing lesser problems. And there are people around you who are facing bigger problems that you can ever imagine. But like I earlier mentioned, I said that every problem already had a solution. I think that solutions existed before the problems. But now you have to grow so that you can be able to equate the solution to the corresponding problem that you're facing. So everybody has what they are facing based on their lane. We have different lanes we are working on. If you are the marketing director, he's also into marketing. They have different offices. I have a different office. The problem or the challenges he's facing as a marketing director, it's not the same the challenge I'm facing. Coordinating textbook, these are two different challenges, but the truth is all of us are facing challenges. So you have to understand that everybody has what they are going through, and maybe somebody's having exactly, but not really exactly what you're going through. And now position your mind, tell yourself, okay, I can be able to keep moving. So in other words, we're saying that while surrounding yourself with people who can push you, you should be your first encouragement. So know that if your closest friend is not encouraging you at the time, maybe they're having their own issues. So what you do is that start encouraging yourself. And the easiest way to encourage yourself is to keep your face, your mind and everything focused on the initial vision, focused on the initial goal. And now when you keep seeing the vision, you keep seeing the goal, it starts pushing you, you begin to speak to yourself and encourage yourself. And so I would like to also advise everybody that if you've never had, like one time I spoke about vision book here. Let's get away from vision book and move ahead a little. I was saying vision book because a lot of people have not even understand that there's that you can have a vision book. I would advise people who have had vision books to step ahead, step forward, and have yourself a vision board this year. Last week there's a live show we used to do, and I used to run that on Facebook. And so last week we were having that live show on our organization page, and I was talking about vision board. I did a sample vision board, my vision board. I didn't show everything because I could not tell everybody my plans for 2022. But I did have, and I showed to people, and a lot of persons were like, oh, Mr. Can you help me? Let's do my vision board. Please get to your vision board. get images, put those images. If you think that at the end of 2022 you're supposed to have a very big company, download a picture of an exciting company. That a company that can trigger your fantasy. Put that picture on the vision board. You get up in the morning and see that picture, you will walk. Nobody will push you. If your vision is that you want to work so much that you get this amount, write a check. In fact, form a check and stick it there on your name, telling yourself that by 2022, I want to be 5 million rich, I want to be 10 million rich. Put it there. Get yourself a vision board so that when these people are facing their own challenges around you and they don't have the time to pamper you or to encourage you, your vision board will encourage you. And those who are watching us right now, you have our contacts. They can always write to us, so I'll be able to explain to you more about the vision board. I think it will help a lot of people in this 2022.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, and everyone in the studio. I'm blessed by your program. I'm so rich and worth. Okay, it is so rich and worth listening, sir. We must remind our young Cameroonians and the youth in Africa that Proverbs 18:16 says, "A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before men of honor." That means there is no room for anyone anywhere by default. It is your gift that is skillfully served to the world that creates a space for you on the table of greatness. Jerry Ngante, writing from Bafia in Yaoundé. But we also have to talk about confidence. Once your confidence is gone, you are gone.
Confidence is gone, you are gone. I totally agree with that statement, because I was listening to this a clip by Miles Monroe where he's talking about the confidence of a lion. That in the jungle, the lion has the type of confidence that is.
It talks about the lion and the eagle.
And the eagle, yeah. But let's take the case of the lion. It says the lion has the type of confidence that is unmatched in the jungle. The lion believes that he is king. And he has made sure that he has, other animals, he has communicated that message to them. When they see the lion, they know that the king is around. And he says the hyena, tall, huge than the lion. The elephant is very huge. That just a stab, you crush the lion and there will be no, you will not even see the bones. But when the lion sees the lion sees the elephant, what comes to mind? He sees lunch. But
yes.
So the hyena sees the same thing. When he sees the hyena, it's the same thing. But these animals, when they see him, they know that, hey, this is the king of the jungle. You juke, he will crush you. They know that they are launched for him. So for you, how do you even see yourself in the first place? Are you confident that you can succeed? Are you confident that that the goals that you have said, you can crush them? Because nobody can believe in yourself more than you do. When they do, it is not going to help you further. Even though it's also important to have people that believe in you to a level, but the person who is going to be overcoming is going to be you. So the type of confidence that you're supposed to build in this 2022 should be borrow it from the lion. Take some lessons on the attitude of a lion. And then, by extension, you can study from the eagle. Just
anybody watching us, find out why the lion is considered the king of the lion.
Of the animal kingdom, why the eagle is the king of the bird kingdom. So that is it, because you know an eagle, even when if the storm is coming towards its direction, what happens is it uses the storm and go to soar to higher heights. What do you do when you have difficulties? In fact, difficulties in life do not come to defeat you or to kill you.
That's right.
They come to be able to trigger you to rise to higher heights. Mr. Leo, coming back to I always like to use examples that are practical. Like what happened to Tex Global a few months ago or 2 months ago. It was the toughest challenge, of which Mr. Teka has been struggling to tell us that, hey, when a company reaches 5 years, it has this type of challenge that is always very tough. Unfortunately, the team did not pick up the message that I was been saying. In the billionaire mindset, he said something, he echoed this out. He has been telling us that if we pass 5 years, then there is nothing that will stop this company. So when this challenge came, first of all, the staff, they were like, oh, the investors, everybody was like, this challenge has come to just finish us. But what came out of this, what is coming out of this, of the challenge, is something better and bigger. So the only time that we started making progress, Mr. Leo, is when we stopped lamenting that why would our IT system have a problem? Why will this happen? Why will this happen? And we said, now it has happened. How can we make the best out of this? It happened because we did not, the technology, things are changing. We have blockchain technology, we have artificial intelligence. We did not adopt these technologies. It is time we adopt these technologies so that we can move ahead. And when these things happen, we had a type of system that, in fact, everybody sits there and say, wow, if this is it, then this crisis, this challenge that the company was facing, it was what to come so that the company could move to another level.
To the next level. Esther, writing from Kumba, says, hello, Mr. Leo, good evening, and to all. Your program is very interesting. I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Esther. Tagen Donatien says, good evening, Mr. Leo. Jesus Christ is the solution to all our problems during tough times. It is. Tagen Donatien, writing from Bamenda. Excuse me. Thumbs up to the vision board, because I always say if you don't build skyscraper in the air, you can't realize it on land. Florence is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Leo. What about a student that is always failing? What should he or she do? Cornelius is writing from Miss Sage. The child needs to concentrate more. Look at those things that are a distraction to your life, and then especially we talked about surrounding. You are surrounded by negative persons. You have to cut them this year and concentrate. You're going
Mr. You're actually right. Look at the things that are causing the child to fail. Don't just encourage the child. Study hard.
Something has to change in the life of the child. The child cannot be living the life that she has been living for the past 5 years, and you expect a different result here. Greetings to you guys in the studio. Please, is it advisable to tell people how much you have made so far in your business financially? George is writing from Tico. Miss Air was about giving her vision board now. She said, but I cannot expose all because everybody should not know.
Yeah, we should not know.
There are certain things that we should keep to ourselves. We have come to the end of this edition of today's program, but certainly you have a last word for our televiewers as they prepare to take on 2022.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Leo, for giving me again this opportunity. So this particular 2022, I'm actually on a drive of 30 vibrant youths about changing the narratives. So I've engaged myself into this through one personal development training program that I equally founded since 2015. That's the ARC Academy. So we are actually driving this change together. Now, here you are being trained on your vision board, how to develop, how to match your goals, how to develop habits, and how to actually build those habits with a lot of intentionality. Then how to set goals, because a lot of people don't even know what goals are all about. They probably lay down emphasis or fantasies in the name of goals. So you're being trained on that. And we've been running this since 2015, and trust me, 2022 it's a year for everyone, because this is actually gifted out free, because this is our own way of giving back to the society and our community. So for the past years, we've been able to raise 2,000 plus youths in and around Africa. So we are encouraging you to, if you want to partake in this journey of self-discovery, of your personal leadership, in fact, to grow yourself and be competitive, because there are a lot of people outside there working tirelessly to render others redundant. So you need to equip yourself and build up for sustainability, especially drive the change. 2022 awaits you for your success. Thank you.
Ms. L, one last word for our televiewers.
I want to say a big thank you to all the investors of Tex Global who are still with us, standing with us, pushing ahead, making sure the vision stands. Thank you so much for believing in the vision, for believing in the CEO. And also, Mr. Teke mentioned in the Investor Summit last year that 2022 we're doing a lot of trainings, empowerment for people around. And so I am saying it now on air. A lot of people used to say, oh, they send messages, it takes time for us to respond. Now, these numbers that when you write, ask me your questions about business, about personal development, everything. We are here for you. We want to serve the community, and we're going to grow together. And subsequently, a lot more programs that will be coming up. I already spoke with some persons that subsequently I'll be working on the YouTube channel such that I can be able to send in some of these informations that people are asking from time to time. So we're going to get a lot. Follow us with our programs, follow us with our activities, and don't forget there is a bonus for investments now in Text Global. I'm sure Mr. Buji will mention that. So please just hurry up and join Text Global. You can write to us and ask more about Text Global. We're here for you, and keep changing the narratives come 2022.
Good evening, it's Milton from Ewane. I love this program. It's so wonderful. My first time watching this, and it got all my attention. Just heard about Text Global. Wish to ask if it's an investment platform. Mr. Teke, one last word for our television.
Okay.
Mr. Buji.
I'm happy to that you make that mistake. Okay. It's 2022 and Text Global opened the year in a grand style. Definitely, last year we actually had a communique sometime on the 20th of August. We stated that we will increase our entry fee to Text Global to 125,000. But this year, Mr. Teke said, because of the grace that God has given us to be able to celebrate our 5th year and move to another level in a 2.0 version, we are maintaining a registration at 78,000 francs only to become part, not 125,000 as previously. But definitely, it's an opportunity that you should put it as a goal to embrace it, seize the opportunity, and make a difference in it, because this offer might not be available forever. So to register to Text Global now, definitely you'll be using a new hybrid system. It's actually something unique, and you have the experience. To our partners, we are very, very grateful for the support. Our investors have given us the support this time like never before. They have been coming to the office. We have been going to the farms with them, and we have been taking decisions. In fact, we co-created a system together with our investors. Some of them were here on air, and definitely we will still accompany them. And if you are an investor listening to us now and you want to participate in this program, you can contact me and we'll make way for you. Thank you very much, and remember, 2022, set smart goals. Your goals must be specific, they must be measurable, they must be achievable, and they must be time-bounded. Thank you.
Okay, we are grateful to the Text Global team. Through you, we have been able to tell you what it will take for you to emerge a winner 2022. Don't blame. Also, we've done our part. It's for you to do your part and thank us at the end of the year. We'll be expecting gifts from you because of the ideas you've achieved.
Yes.
You've gotten from you now,
yeah.
From us.
Yes.
Okay, we also want to say thank you to you, Eli and Desmond, and to you, Tabi Tambepayan, supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.